Hey everybody, my name is Ed. Okay, first new comic book haul of the year. Um, you know what? I don't have any interesting stories. I did have to go out of town for a while, and the most interesting thing that happened is en route to leaving here to get to where I wanted to get to. Uh, I had a stopover in St. Louis, and I got stuck there. I was actually on the bus, and the bus broke down, and the bus driver kept telling us stuff like, the bus has fixed itself. Well, we've called a mechanic. Well, a service truck is coming out there. And of course, none of those things happened. And eventually, ultimately, we had to wait for another bus to come to take the people who were going to where I was going to. We had to wait for another bus. I think they made accommodations for some other people who were going someplace else, and they put them in a nearby hotel, and they had to wait for the next scheduled bus that was coming the next morning to take them to where they were going to. But the rest of us, we just had to wait there at the station on the broken down bus, waiting for the replacement bus. And yeah, it ended up taking like 10 hours. Okay, anyway, so back in Chicago, back to drinking beer, back to reading comics. Today's beer is Foster's. So cheers. And jumping right into it, I have Punisher Platoon number 4. This is Frank Castle's adventures in Vietnam from before him becoming the Punisher. This is in the Max universe, so separate continuity from the 616 universe. I've read issues 1 and 2, and I did enjoy them. I missed issue 3 just because of crazy stuff going on in real life. But I am looking forward to reading. Well, actually, I should probably get issue 3 before I read this, but I think I'm going to just jump in and read it anyway. Black Lightning number 3. Really enjoy it. It's being written by Tony Isabella, who is the creator of Black Lightning. Very apparently, his feud with DC Comics has pretty much ended. I'm sure a lot of people are probably aware that the CW is going to be doing a Black Lightning TV show. One thing I think that's pretty interesting and pretty funny is the comic book is the new 52 version of Black Lightning, while the TV series appears to be, the pre-52 version. In that version, Black Lightning is a little bit older. He has these teenage or young adult daughters and stuff like that. And it seems, just judging by the teasers, he's kind of coming out of retirement or whatever. So that's interesting. While in this version, it's a younger Black Lightning. He doesn't have kids. He hasn't been married or anything like that. So, and they've kind of changed some of the characters around. The bad guy on the TV show is Tobias Whale. He's based on the old version from the 70s where the guy is kind of an albino. Here, there's a Tobias Whale character, but he's African American. He's a dark-skinned African American and stuff like that. So, like I said, I just think I just find it interesting that that's the route that they're going. But yeah, this comic book here, solid writing, really nice art. I really like this kind of crisp, clean style they got going on here. And the story just seems to be dealing with how Black Lightning is dealing with a lot of street crime. He's dealing with cops who don't necessarily trust him. He's dealing with the fact that the gangs have got these high-tech, sci-fi weapons. And yeah, like I said, you've got Tobias Whale manipulating things from behind the scenes. So yeah, really interesting, really solid comic book. Okay. Iron Man 5 595. I totally missed out on number 594. Again, crazy real life schedule. I just missed out. So I'll just have to order that. Green Lantern number 36. This issue has something to do with Oliver Queen going underseas to investigate something. Last issue had him meeting up with his mom. Here's Diggle. This issue also has some other crazy stuff going on. With, I think this is the mayor. I think this guy is the mayor who's taking over Star City. So lots of very crazy plot things going on. I've said before, I think sometimes the transitions are clumsy and sometimes the dialogue doesn't. Oh, I better not show that. That looks like it's giving away something. Sometimes the dialogue doesn't work 100%. I do like that they have Oliver Queen's little sister Emmy in here as one of his sidekick or a member of his team or whatever. Like I said, the fact that there's multiple plot lines going on at the same time, I do enjoy that, and I just like the whole fast-paced energy of the comics. So, all right. Deathstroke number 27. I do have 26. I just haven't gotten around to reading it. Hawkeye number 14. Hawkeye is going to be ending around issue 16 or so, and I think that's a big shame. This is one of the better comic books that Marvel Comics was putting out over the last year or so, and I don't know. I just think people slept on it. I think people who are interested in new things and different things and girl heroes and stuff. I just don't get why more people didn't buy this comic, but okay. I think Kelly Thompson is actually supposed to be writing. As a matter of fact, I did see in the store the Gambit and Rogue miniseries, and I'm sure it's going to be good. I'm just probably not going to read it just due to my lack of interest in Gambit and Rogue as a couple. If I hear a lot of good things, I'll probably get it in trade or when it's done or whatever like that. Okay. Paper Girls number 19. Okay, I think this comic has remained solid since its beginning. It's probably going to go down as one of the better comics of the last year or two. American Way number 5. Whoop. Another comic that's not getting a whole lot of attention. Written by John Ridley. John Ridley is a screenwriter. This series is a sequel to a series he did a few years back. Both of these series, that series was set in the 60s. This series is set in the early 70s. Really blending superheroes and politics and culture and history in a really interesting way. Not a lot of, I wouldn't say it's one-sided politics. It's not dogmatic or anything like that. But it gives you a real interesting tapestry of the kind of variety of things that were going on at that particular time. And if you check out this cover, you see this woman holding up her fist like this. It is a parody of an infamous Jane Fonda mugshot from like around this time. So, okay. Hanoi Jane! Alright, Gasolina number 4. Really like the writing in this comic. The art's, it's good, but it's a little bit flat. I don't know what I would have liked to see. Maybe heavier lines or something. it's a weird thing to say because it's not like there isn't any. I don't know. I don't know what it is. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, if anybody remembers like old comic books from the 70s, the inking somebody like Jack Abel would do, or Vince Coletta, where their style would just kind of flatten things out. You know, it's not even bad, but it was like you'd see somebody ink, you know, the pencils of Joe Schmo, and they look really rich and I guess that's the word I want to use here. And it's not the coloring. The coloring isn't bad. The use of shadow isn't bad. It's just it looks flat. I don't know how else to say it. But the story is really interesting. The story has to do with this guy who's kind of a doctor or something like that, and his wife who's kind of an enforcer or something like that. And they have these dealings going on with these drug cartels, and they're trying to kind of work, you know, trying to kind of deal with the whole environment that they're living in, where they want to help people, but then that also means sometimes helping these drug guys, and then you don't want to get on the wrong side of these guys, but you don't want to be beholden to these guys, and trying to work that whole kind of murky waters, so to speak. In the meantime, there's this whole sort of supernatural element going on, where these bugs or something are taking over people or something like that. But really, really interesting comic. I really enjoy it, so I'm looking forward to digging into that. Jimmy's Bastards #5. I read Jimmy's Bastards #1 and #2. Missed out on issue 3. Forgot 4 was even supposed to be coming out, but I saw 5, so I have to get it. So I don't know. I'll probably just order issue 3 and issue 4 online or something like that. Basically, the story is the main character is kind of this James Bond-ish type guy. He's kind of this lovable rogue pseudo asshole type guy, and it's him and his sidekick, going on their adventures or whatever. And meanwhile, these kids, I guess, the adult children that he's fathered from all of his multiple affairs, have kind of gathered up, and they've got some sort of conspiracy to kind of bring him down or whatever. So yeah, it's written by Garth Ennis. So you've got that kind of dark humor, but at the same time, it's kind of smart dark humor, vulgar jokes, stuff like that. But like I said, at the same time, you can tell the person who's behind it all is an intelligent person. So it isn't just, like I said, dark vulgar humor, but the dark vulgar humor is there. So, and also, this is the last one. I was really looking forward to this. Snagglepuss Chronicles, Exit Stage Left. This is one of DC's more. This is one of their adult takes. Put that in quotes, but one of their adult or mature takes on the old Hanna-Barbera characters. And so this one is Snagglepuss is, I guess, a writer during the 50s. And he's dealing with things like McCarthyism. I'm sure they're going to get into LBGT issues of the day. And he seems to be loosely modeled on Tennessee Williams. Maybe a little Oscar Wilde thrown in there. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a little bit of the Red Scare going on. But yeah, just really interesting to see how or if how they kind of pull it off in this particular comic. So yeah. All right. Okay, so that's it. I got to thank everybody for watching. You all have a good day.